premier match contre l'Argentine, c'était vraiment un match exceptionnel, je pense, avec l'entrée des deux équipes sur le terrain et le stade plein. Donc c'est une ambiance fantastique.
Where do you think are the strengths and weaknesses of the African teams?
D'abord, notre gros point faible a été le manque d'expérience. Je pense qu'on a payé on a pris beaucoup de buts par manque d'expérience. Puis c'était notre première compétition, première grande compétition, première fois que la Côte d'Ivoire participe à une Coupe du Monde. Donc c'était difficile de pouvoir espérer faire quelque chose de grand, mais je pense qu'on avait quand même les moyens, malgré tout, de battre peut-être la Hollande et la Serbie, donc peut-être passer au tour d'après.
What do you think is the main reason why the World Cup was determined by European teams and European coaches? Even, Africa, Asia were out. What do you think is the main reason why Europe were the strong force at this World Cup?
Je pense surtout que le fait que les équipes aient eu un temps de préparation de 2-3 semaines, ça a donné beaucoup plus de temps aux équipes européennes de se reposer, surtout qu'on sait qu'ici il y a des championnats très intenses, donc on est tous partis sur un même pied d'égalité, et puis donc les gros cylindrés comme d'habitude ont fait la différence et on retrouve toujours la France, l'Italie, l'Allemagne, donc bon, c'est un petit peu normal.
Right, absolutely. Now, how do you think it is that African players, which are very good, such as yourself, why do you think they mainly come to Europe? Why is it that Europe is more attractive?
C'est plus intéressant pour un joueur africain déjà de venir en Europe parce que les conditions de travail sont complètement différentes. Quand on ne peut pas comparer les structures qu'il y a ici, par exemple à Chelsea, et les centres de l'académie en Côte d'Ivoire, c'est complètement différent au niveau des moyens. Et ici, on peut plus facilement vivre du football, tandis qu'en Afrique, c'est encore difficile.
Now, where would you like to see improvements in Africa, football-wise, development-wise? Where is the main area which needs improvement?
C'est vrai que l'Afrique de l'Ouest a un gros potentiel avec des équipes comme le Sénégal, le Ghana, la Côte d'Ivoire, mais je pense que c'est plus tout le continent africain vraiment qu'on doit aider parce que ça doit être maintenant une obligation pour le continent africain de recevoir une Coupe du Monde après un système de rotation, que la Coupe du Monde s'arrête au moins une fois tous les 12 voire 16 ans en Afrique, quoi.
There is that idea with FIFA that there's a rotation, continent to continent. So I hope so too, actually. Finally it's time that it gets down there. What do you think when you think 2010 South Africa, and it's in South Africa, but it's the African World Cup. What are your feelings when you think about 2010?
Mais j'ai l'impression que c'est encore très loin, mais en même temps j'ai hâte d'y être parce que ça sera la première Coupe du Monde en Afrique, ça sera une fête immense, ça sera vraiment quelque chose de grandiose pour le continent africain et je pense que ça va faire avancer beaucoup de choses en Afrique et on attend ça avec impatience.
And you think 2010, the African teams, will they be on an equal playing field with the teams from Europe and South America and Asia?
Non, je pense que toutes les équipes auront leur chance, mais les équipes africaines seront avantagées par rapport à l'état de la pelouse ou par rapport à pas mal de choses. Mais déjà, le fait de jouer sur notre continent, on aura sûrement beaucoup plus de supporters.
So we're going to be lucky enough to see you play for Côte d'Ivoire in 2010 in Africa.
Voilà, merci.
Okay. DJ, thank you very much.
Merci.
Yo creo que la final de la Copa del Mundo se da en un momento donde la carrera arbitral ha tomado ya un vuelo notable a través de los años, a través del aprendizaje y de haber estado en situaciones similares a una final de la Copa del Mundo. Aunque una final de la Copa del Mundo mi nivel de exigencia y mi nivel de autocrítica también, si se quiere, siempre fueron muy elevados. Me gusta hacer las cosas de la mejor manera posible y no solamente decirlo, sino que pregonar este concepto. Es decir, los goles de los árbitros son los fallos. Es decir, que cuando uno ve un error, se podría entender que es un gol en contra. Y eso es un momento, el momento más desagradable, creo, que tiene un árbitro, ¿no? Cuando se da cuenta que se equivocó. Por supuesto que entendemos que el error es parte nuestra, pero bueno, la idea es no cometerlo, porque bueno, ni por nosotros, ni por todo el mundo, ni por el bien del fútbol, todos están esperando de que no nos equivoquemos.
¿Y cómo puede usted estar seguro como árbitro de no ser víctima de una simulación?
Es complejo, uno es como que tiene que estar muy atento a estas supuestas apariciones de infracciones, ¿no? Y eso se da con un elevadísimo grado de concentración, es decir, ser muy minucioso y muy rápido del movimiento del jugador que transporta la pelota y el que lo va a marcar. Creo que ahí es el grado más alto de exigencia que tiene un árbitro, de ver cómo se transporta el balón, cuál es la pierna, quién ocupa primero el espacio, el tiempo. Hay varios elementos como que te ayudan a evaluar.
Hay muchos deportes que usan herramientas técnicas para registrar infracciones o errores. ¿Puede el fútbol sobrevivir sin la repetición instantánea para el árbitro, por ejemplo?
Yo creo que en jugadas me parece que dejar librado al azar a un factor humano de posible error en una jugada tan objetiva como es que se puede medir, como es que si la pelota ingresó o no a la portería, me parece que ahí ya se tendría que estar intentando el ingreso de una nueva tecnología. Uno sabe que no lo puede hacer, pero sí lo desearía para tratar de ser más justo.
Hablando de justicia, hubo mucha controversia por la tarjeta roja a Zidane en el partido final. ¿Cómo vivió usted esa experiencia?
Esa experiencia la viví en el momento como cualquier otra acción dentro de un campo de juego y como si fuera un partido más. Es decir, yo recibí una información por parte del cuarto oficial a través de los intercomunicadores de lo que había sucedido y lo único que me quedó de hacer fue mostrar mi tarjeta roja. Y en ese momento para mí no hubo controversias, no hubo conflictos ni nada. Zidane era un jugador más dentro del campo de juego y fue tratado como un jugador más.
Como persona, ¿cómo se sintió cuando dejó afuera a uno de los mejores jugadores del mundo en su último partido, en ese momento de despedida?
En ese momento uno es árbitro. Es decir, uno quizás se despoja del arbitraje después de haber concluido un partido. Cuando estaba en el hotel y divisaba las imágenes de lo que había ocurrido en la final de Italia-Francia, uno empieza a valorar y a interpretar otras cuestiones. Y ahí aparece el hombre, aparece la persona, y empieza a sacar muchas conclusiones, ¿no? Para mí hay una toma televisiva que la dieron en ese momento, la reiteraron en varias oportunidades, que es la espalda de Zidane con su camiseta de Francia, su número, su apellido y que pasa por al lado de la Copa del Mundo, ¿no? Creo que esa imagen sintetiza cualquier comentario.
Hay momentos, hay circunstancias en que los árbitros tienen un desagradable trabajo. ¿Qué se siente ser abucheado, o ser silbado en un estadio enorme?
Primero creo que yo no siento que castigue. Yo siento que tengo como base una regla de juego, de lo que está permitido y de lo que no está permitido, y tengo la responsabilidad hacia mis dirigidos de hacer cumplir de alguna manera esas reglas de juego, ¿no? Y decirles qué se puede hacer y qué no se puede hacer. Me parece que ese es el rol del árbitro. Y en cuanto a lo otro, la desaprobación, creo que a todo el mundo le gusta ser aprobado, ser aceptado. Pero sabemos que en materia del arbitraje esto es totalmente al revés.
How old were you when you realised, or perhaps your family and friends realised, that you had the prospect of being a professional footballer?
I think my dad was seeing it more than I was seeing it. He was pushing me. I just wanted to make him happy, to be honest, that's all. Then when I arrived in the game, you become a man, you have your own character, your own desire. But at the very beginning, I just wanted to please my dad. That's all I wanted to do.
The French national team are blessed with some uniquely skillful players. Zidane, yourself. Where and how did you learn and perfect such skills?
Well, I say, if I can say, you have a gift right from the start, but you need to work on it. You have some people also who are not pretty gifted who still, reach a high level or can be great player because they work. So I will say, I don't know why, in France we always had, in the past, some technical players good on the ball. Not only our generation, but the generation way before. I don't know why, it's kind of always like that, but you need to work on it. It's not only the fact of saying, Zidane is very good on the ball. He worked a lot to be like that. I learned to play, not the football that I'm playing now, but to start, it happens all at the start for me. The desire, the commitment, the hunger that you can have, not in a bad way, but that you can have, who drives you in, who drives you on, that you need to have, and you get it in the street. I don't think you can get that anywhere else. After, obviously, you can work on being better with your left foot, better with your right foot, better with your head, better, seeing what is happening around you. But the desire, the commitment, the hunger, and the passion, you get it there, you get it in the street. I think so, and that's you see it straight away when a player comes from the street. You see it straight away.
So someone like Zidane, you can use.
Well, Zizou, because I'm gonna say Zizou, obviously. That's how we call him. But yeah, he comes from the neighborhood in Marseille, and that's where he started to play football. When you have a ball for the whole neighborhood. That's when you become skillful, because you play against 60 men. You have to protect. You have to keep the ball, protect your ball. It's only one ball for everybody, so you have to make sure you can keep it, and don't cry when you get kicked. And sometimes also there is the bad habit of it, but I still think that that's when you can get a great mentality and a great desire and commitment.
You're well known for being an outspoken campaigner against racism on many an occasion. Is this an issue that's particularly close to your heart, and do you believe that you can make a difference here?
Make a difference? I don't know. A lot of people did try before me. A lot of people left has died for that. I just don't know. But as I said earlier on, if you don't try to do anything, that won't harm anybody. So I just at the time felt that I had to do and say something. Obviously, it's something that close to my heart. It's not only a problem in the game, it's a problem in the society. But I realized at one point that people are listening to me and will listen to me if you come out there and put a message out there. And I just wanted to touch the youngsters, because sometimes some of the people who are already old, it's difficult to change their way of viewing stuff.
And do you think the French national team's achievements have had any noticeable effects in French society generally?
What it did in '98 something like it was a big deal. At the end of the day, everyone felt French and everyone, were together in the street for, not only in the street, everywhere else, everyone was proud to be French. That's not always the case, unfortunately. But then it stopped suddenly. But I would say, and I'll say it again, there are not a lot of stuff out there who can make people happy. I always say sport and music can do that.
In France, you've won the World Cup in 1998, the European Championships in 2000. You appeared in the final in World Cup 2006. What do you put this consistent level of success down to over the last 10 years?
I would say the youth team development system that we have in France. It is just amazing. I come from there. A lot of players come from there who are playing in the national team.
This is Clairefontaine?
Yeah, Clairefontaine or anywhere else, As soon as you arrive, we have good bosses for the young players. And I don't know, it's just... we had a good generation, so it does help, because the generation of the Platini and the Tigana and Fernandez and Gires and Trésor and people like that, I grew up with this kind. I grew up with
watching them.
So I was just like inspired by them. Also, that helps when you have a good national team and you're young and they're doing well. You wanna do it. You wanna do that sport.
You're widely recognised as one of the greatest players in the world of football currently. What does representing France in the World Cup mean to you personally?
Oh, basically everything. First of all, playing for your country is something extra special. But if you can do it, on the world stage, that is something I never, I did dream about it, because when you're young, you always dream that you're playing for your country at the World Cup. But then when you're there, you actually don't think about it too much.
Arguably, Brazil versus France in the quarterfinals was one of the tournament's best games, and you scored a beauty of a goal, really well finished from a Zidane free kick. Was it a set piece that you'd rehearsed, and can perhaps you be kind enough to talk us through it?
No, not really, because I'm not often in the box on free kicks and stuff like that. It just happened. Sometimes it's a feeling that you have, because we had one before, or a couple before, that I saw that they had nobody, they didn't put anybody in second post, and they were not actually taking care of it. So I just said to myself, the next one that I have, I'm just gonna make myself disappear, if I can say, and be there at the second post, and the ball arrived, and I put it in.
Zidane scored 3 goals in the tournament, and you've both ended up with 3 goals, and the game has been graced by him. Will the game find another like Zidane?
Well, yeah, it goes without saying. Zizou was Zizou, full stop. Zizou is so loved, and that even what happened in the final of the World Cup, something I don't want to really talk about, but people in France, forgave him.
As the match moved into extra time in the final, was there ever a moment when you felt you might lose?
No, never. Some other games, sometimes you felt like they might maybe score or whatever. But against Italy, I think we were a bit, if I can say, we were not that great the first 20 minutes. And then after we were in control of the game, the whole game. But then football, that's how it is. Sometimes it's not only the team who deserves to win or wins. We were on the other side one day. Sometimes football is strange, because we won the Euro 2000, not really. Overall, the tournament, we did deserve to win. But in the final, Italy played way better than us and should have won it, and they didn't. But people say in France that at least we won it on the pitch, not on penalty. But what I'm saying is penalty is part of the game, and they won it.
Few people realise that you actually didn't start out as a goalkeeper, did you?
Yeah, I started as a striker.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I swapped between goal and striker. And I always loved to get a striker, to become a striker. But somehow I ended up in goal.
The management team of Germany seemed to suffer some criticism from certain quarters at times because of new techniques that they were using. Were you aware of this criticism?
Yeah, we've been aware of this criticism, of course. But for example, I was used to the new techniques they brought in because here at Arsenal, the fitness coach's approach is quite similar to the approach Jürgen Klinsmann brought in with his American fitness guys.
Concentration is perhaps one of the great virtues of any goalkeeper. How do you keep concentration in a game?
I don't know how I keep it. I have it. I think I'm gifted with that. I think it's very important to build that up in your school time, because school is the only place where you get it naturally. And when you end school probably at the age of 15 or 16, you'll be missing 2 or 3 years, and where you can still build up this skill to build up your concentrational level.
Now I'm going to turn back to the World Cup itself. Right at the beginning of the tournament, one of the key areas of speculation was the new ball that Adidas had unveiled and introduced to the tournament. As a goalkeeper, how did you find that ball?
You had to apply to this swerving balls because they're not coming straight at you anymore. In my opinion, it made the World Cup a little bit more attractive for the supporters and for the audience, because a lot of goal had not been scored if it wasn't due to the ball, because it's so quick and swerving. So if you're, for example, on your right foot, all of a sudden it turns to your left. And that means that it embarrasses sometimes the goalkeepers, but makes it more attractive for the people.
Opening matches of World Cups are traditionally quite dull affairs, and they often feature great footballing upsets. As you and your teammates prepared to face Costa Rica, what thoughts dominated?
We had to win this game, we knew, because Costa Rica wasn't expected to be the strongest team in the world. And as a host nation, in the opening game, you expected to win that we could show a fine display as well, or on top of this, played in our hands, because then we created some kind of enthusiasm towards us from the crowd, because before the tournament everybody was quite skeptical. Everybody was saying, well, the Germans, they can't play attractive football anymore, and so they probably make it to the knockout stages. But beyond that, we can't imagine that they will come to the final or to the semi-finals.
And as Germany got stronger, and with these very positive performances, were you aware as a squad of the effect you were having on the nation? Or were you shielded from it?
We were, I think we shielded ourselves a bit, because we didn't read papers a lot, and we didn't watch TV apart from the broadcasting of the games, and so I didn't really notice the enthusiasm and the atmosphere amongst the people, and I think for most of us it turned out to be quite positive, because it didn't lift you up too early, and we felt it in the stadiums that we've created some great performances, and that the people all of a sudden were amazed by seeing us and by watching us as a team and how we played. And even after the World Cup, a lot of people came to us and said, well, we are so grateful to live in this time and having shared this big party. Thank you. And it was a big compliment for us.
Perhaps one of the most defining moments of the tournament was your quarter-final battle, Germany's quarter-final clash with Argentina, which ultimately, as a contest, was decided on a penalty shootout. Football's equivalent of a duel, if you like. Throughout your career, you've been a specialist to some extent at saving penalties. How do you prepare for such contests?
You try to get all sort of information about the possible penalty takers from the opponents. I asked a fellow coach because I knew he's still maintaining a big information about all sorts of penalty takers across the world. And I've asked him, and he gave me some data, and so our goalkeeping coach put that together on a little note, and he gave it to me before the penalty shootout.
But there was one of the other sequences is that very emotional moment when Oliver Kahn is seen making a rather nice gesture to you, putting his arm around. Can I ask, what did he say to you?
Well, it was quite, of course, emotional, because everybody knew of our rivalry prior to the World Cup, and he gave me some nice support. But I couldn't pay too much attention to his words, because I was focusing already on the penalty shootout. And then I had to go to the goal. And
what we'd like to do now is to talk you through the pictures on the monitor and take you directly back to that extraordinary match and the penalty shootout. When you're watching and starting to save the penalty, are you focused totally on the player? Are you looking at the ball? How do you...
I focus on the player, of course. But I can't reveal too much here, because I might be facing another penalty shootout.
I think you managed to go the right way for every penalty.
Yeah. I was lucky on that day.
And is trying to put the striker off like that part of your technique?
Yeah, it is.
You and the rival team's goalkeeper are isolated. You're very much on your own. Did you, as you walked past each other, did you have any words for each other? Did you talk?
No, not at all. But I remember that he has checked me once. Yeah? And it was just a spur of a moment, and I didn't really pay attention to that either, but for a second I said, is he crazy? Yeah, why is he checking me? And it was good for us that their main goalkeeper wasn't playing anymore.
You seem quite mesmerized by these pictures.
I'm watching it the first time, you know, and of course it brings back some emotions.
And what's interesting is you were one of the first players, I think, down the tunnel at the end of the game. And you didn't stay for the fight that developed afterwards.
Yeah, I was quite happy on that, because normally I'd be a guy who got involved into this fight. As a goalkeeper, you can't lose your aggressions during the game. And so I didn't realize that there was a fight going on. And I met up with Oliver later on in the dressing room. We've been the first ones who came into the dressing room. And yeah, it was good like that.
Looking back now at the summer of 2006, what does your World Cup experience mean to you and as a part of your career?
I think it was the nicest part, or the nicest time of my life anyway, because around the World Cup, wherever we went, you always had the feeling that you can do everything, or you could ask everybody for doing everything for you. If you just had said, come on, it's for Germany, it's for the German squad. And because people were so enthusiastic and cheering us, and due to my private circumstances where we got a baby, it's a perfect time, and it's very unlikely that I will enjoy such a nice time again in my life. Playing a World Cup as a host country is fantastic. Unfortunately, we didn't win it, but the atmosphere couldn't have been better, even when we have won it. So I'm very, very grateful for this time.
Wir haben kein großes Geheimnis daraus gemacht. Wir haben uns sehr gut vorbereitet. Wir haben Zeit gehabt, 2 Jahre unter dem neuen Trainer Jürgen Klinsmann. Wir hatten keine Qualifikationsspiele, sodass wir viel probieren konnten. Man hat sehr viele junge Spieler dazu geholt, hat einen neuen Stil, ein bisschen geformt, der Mannschaft eingetrichtert, sehr, sehr offensiv zu spielen mit viel Risiko, was ja auch mit vielen Gegentoren teilweise verbunden war. Und so gab es so ein paar Auf und Abs die 2 Jahre. Wenn man den Trainer wechselt, erwartet man sich ja was Neues, auch die Verbandsspitze oder je nachdem ein Club. Und jeder Trainer hat eben so seine Eigenarten, anders zu arbeiten ein bisschen, so dass man sie eigentlich gar nicht vergleichen kann. Im Endeffekt werden sie alle an ihrem Erfolg gemessen und dann wird abgerechnet. Und jeder hat andere Methoden und danach wird er natürlich ein bisschen beurteilt. Jürgen Klinsmann ist einen sehr, sehr offenen Weg gegangen, hat viel verändert. DFB hat den Spielern sehr, sehr viel Freiraum gelassen, hat neue Methoden in der täglichen Trainingsarbeit eingeführt, wo teilweise auch ein bisschen belächelt worden ist für die eine oder andere Sache, aber hat sein Ding durchgezogen und Spielern hat es Spaß gemacht, das war das Wichtigste.
Cool, absolut. Jetzt, Deutschland wuchs sehr schnell zum Favoriten an. Ich meine, wie war da der Mannschaftsgeist?
Ja, was heißt, die wuchs war ja von Anfang an eigentlich auch schon da auf die Mannschaft. Der Druck war natürlich da, weil wir natürlich zu Hause spielen und von Deutschland speziell natürlich auch immer viel erwartet wird. Aber wir haben uns gut darauf vorbereitet, schönes Hotel gehabt. Wir waren nicht zu abgeschottet, jetzt, dass man gar nichts gesehen hat, sodass man einen Lagerkoller kriegt vielleicht. Das war auch wichtig. Wir waren in Berlin und hatten optimale Bedingungen, sodass wir uns super auf den Fußball konzentrieren konnten und ja, dann eben auch in den Spielen gemerkt haben, wenn wir zum Spiel gefahren sind und so, die Fans auf den Straßen, das hat uns einfach auch angetrieben und so zu guten Leistungen auch. Und so war es eigentlich gar nicht der große Druck vielleicht, den der eine oder andere erwartet hat, sondern es lief ja von Anfang an gut und deshalb war es vielleicht einfacher. Klar, wenn man dann in die Achtelfinal- und Viertelfinalspiele kommt, weiß man, mit jedem Spiel kann Schluss sein und das ist natürlich schon eine Situation, aber wie gesagt, das ist als Fußball.
Wir haben die Fans und so Public Opinion, war das natürlich sicher ein Aufwind, also eine Stärkung für euch, weil Deutschland war ja im Tumult. Also ich meine, in Berlin, das war sowas, die Fanfeste mussten erweitert werden. Es war eine ziemlich unglaubliche Atmosphäre und Stimmung.
Ja klar, es ist immer schöner, wenn man zu Hause spielt, ganz einfach gesagt, als wenn man natürlich ein ganzes Stadion gegen sich hat. Und ja, das war beeindruckend für uns, dass das, was wir beim Confed Cup schon so ein bisschen gespürt hatten, war ja dann noch mal eine Schippe mehr. Und es war einfach toll, wie das mit jedem Spiel gewachsen ist. Natürlich auch viele, die sonst keine Fußballfans sind, die da auch mitgefeiert haben und vielleicht auch zu Fußballfans geworden sind. Und das ist das Schöne, wenn man da immer auch Leute, die sich vorher eben nicht so interessiert haben für Fußball, dazu gewinnt.
Wie du sagst, du spielst ja jetzt für Chelsea. Wie ist es, dass sehr wenige deutsche Spieler verlassen Deutschland?
Ja, vielleicht bekommen sie nicht mehr so viel Angebot. Ich weiß es nicht. Also es hängt sicherlich auch damit zusammen. Also ich glaube nicht, dass die Deutschen sagen, ich will nicht ins Ausland gehen, die deutschen Spieler. Also ich denke, wenn das Angebot für den einen oder anderen Spieler da wäre, würde er sich sicherlich auch der Herausforderung stellen. Oder das ist ja was eine ganz tolle Herausforderung, wenn man den Weg sucht, ins Ausland geht. Man beginnt von neu, man muss sich neu durchsetzen. Andere Sprache und so weiter, das sind ja alles Sachen, die nicht so einfach sind. Und trotzdem ist man ja in einem jungen Alter, sodass man das ja eigentlich sich darauf freut, sowas auch so eine Herausforderung anzunehmen. Und ich glaube schon, dass es viele Spieler gibt, die das gern machen würden.
Was war dein denkwürdigster Moment während der WM, wenn du zurückschaust in den 4 Wochen und der Zeit vorher? Was war die denkwürdigste? War eine Situation da, irgendwie mit Fans oder an einem gewissen Spiel? Oder?
Ja, sicherlich das Elfmeterschießen, auch das Spiel gegen Argentinien. Und das war natürlich schon super für uns Spieler, ein bewegender Moment. Und dann auch wieder das Ausscheiden natürlich gegen Italien, weil es auch sehr emotional war, auch wenn es nicht schön war, aber es ist so die Dramatik des Ausscheidens in der 119. Minute ist natürlich bitter für alle gewesen und das bleibt natürlich auch hängen.
Super, und zuletzt, Michael, wenn es eine Sache geben würde, die du zurückblickend auf die WM zurückblickend ändern könntest, gäbe es was? Und wenn ja, was wäre das?
Ja, das ist die einfachste Frage, die kommt zum Schluss. Das ist klar, das ist natürlich einfach zu beantworten, dass wir gerne einen Titel geholt hätten und das irgendwie rückgängig machen könnten, das Spiel oder so gegen Italien. Aber dieses Fußball, das ist natürlich knapp, aber es sollte nicht sein. 29 noch, aber ja, für mich gibt es jetzt keinen Grund, irgendwie einen Kopf in den Sand zu stecken, sondern es geht weiter. Das war eine super, super Sache. Also, wenn man eine Enttäuschung erlebt hätte, dann ist das, glaube ich, viel schlimmer. Aber wie gesagt, 2-2 haben wir einen zweiten Platz gemacht, jetzt einen dritten. Das sind immer wieder Erlebnisse, die sind unbezahlbar für einen Fußballer. Und deshalb dafür spielt man Fußball.
その日本がワールドカップに出始めて今回で3度目、それ以前っていうのは他の国、特にヨーロッパ、南米という国に対して日本という国がそのサッカーを本気でやる国だと多分思えてなかったと思うんですけど、やはり今回この3回連続で出ているってことに対してそういう他の国も日本にもやっぱりサッカーがっていうのとやっぱりいい選手が出てくるんだなっていうそういう気づかせられたっていう意味では前進したと思いますけども、ただまだそのワールドカップを戦って勝ちに行くという意味ではもう少し時間がかかるのかなとは思ってます。
Why is Japan in love with Brazilian soccer?
日本人がそのブラジルのサッカーを好きかどうかっていうのは僕は正直わからないですけども、ただそのブラジル人の体格、身体能力というものにおいて日本人と多分似てる部分がある、そういう意味で一番真似をしやすい、模倣しやすい、そういう意味で多分ブラジルのサッカーをブラジルの選手が多く入ってきたり、コーチが入ってきたりすることが多分多かったんじゃないかなとは思います。
If you had a few comments for a young Asian aspiring football player, what kind of insight would you give them to prepare to be an international football star one day?
やはりそういうヨーロッパのスタイルとか他のどこのスタイルに合わせるということじゃなくて、自分の本当の武器っていうのを磨くということを覚えて、それ本当に突き詰めれば全く問題なくヨーロッパでも十分できると思うし、本当活躍できると思う選手はたくさんいるし、そういう意味でそのヨーロッパとかその南米のそういう上手い選手たちに引け目を負ったりするんじゃなくて、自分を自信を持って本当に自分の一番をできるだけ伸ばすということをやれば、本当もっともっと多くの選手が海外でやっていけると思います。
Off the pitch, the cultures are very different in Europe and Japan. But on the field, what are the big differences between playing for a European team versus a Japanese team?
まずはその日本とまたヨーロッパの国々というのは、そのサッカーに対する歴史の差っていうのは非常にあって、まずヨーロッパの方はもうサッカーが生活に根付いてて、日本はまだそこまで行っていない。そういう意味で本当に自分の私生活も全部含めて犠牲にすると言ったらおかしいですけど、そういうことも考えて全てサッカーに打ち込まなきゃならないっていうのがヨーロッパ、本当にそれは強くて、日本はまだそこまで行ってないと思いますし、あとそのサッカーのテクニカル的、その戦術的っていうことはいろんな違いはありますけども、それもサッカーのうちなんで、ただそのサッカーに対する姿勢っていうのが一番大きな違いだと思います。
You surprised a lot of us when you announced your retirement at a young age. You're very on top of your career at this point. What were your reasons for retiring?
もちろん一つだけの理由じゃないですし、いくつかの理由があったんですけども、何よりもその全部をひっくるめて、やはりそのサッカーを純粋に楽しむということがなかなかできなくなった。だからそういう意味で、ただお金のためとかそういうことじゃなくて、やっぱり自分は純粋にサッカーを楽しんでやりたかったんでプロになったわけで、それができなくなってきたんで、今回のその決断を下しました。
Diciamo che io ho iniziato a giocare a calcio, avevo 7-8 anni, adesso ne ho 33 e ho sempre fatto il calciatore. Quindi spero di restare in questo ambiente, in questo mondo, perché comunque è la cosa che io so fare. Prima è vero ho fatto altri investimenti, però non ci metto la stessa passione che metto nel calcio, quindi spero di restare nel mondo del calcio e basta. Non so in quale ruolo, non so in che cosa, ma spero di restare qui.
Ecco, che differenze hai riscontrato, se ne hai riscontrate di alcune, fra la nostra maniera di fare calcio, non so, anche i nostri tifosi, i vostri club e gli spagnoli?
È diverso perché noi forse siamo, a livello di tifo, siamo all'esasperazione, siamo un po' indietro sotto questo punto di vista, perché ancora, io ho visto le prime giornate di campionato, ancora ci sono gli scontri tra le tifoserie, ancora ci sono, la gente ha paura di portare i figli allo stadio. Invece, almeno soprattutto qui a Madrid, c'è uno stadio, una struttura fantastica, c'è una mentalità di andare allo stadio, sì, se giocate bene è giusto che vi facciamo gli applausi, se giochiamo male al massimo possiamo fare qualche fischio, ma non finisce lì, e questo penso che sia la grande differenza rispetto al nostro calcio. Poi c'è il fatto che comunque noi in questi anni di scandali ne abbiamo avuti troppi, perché comunque tra passaporti, tra calciopoli, tra società che non erano in grado di iscriversi ai campionati e che si sono iscritti, abbiamo avuto troppi problemi. In più paghiamo il fatto di aver fatto un mondiale nel 90 e avere delle strutture che oggi sembrano già vecchie di 50 anni, paghiamo un po' tutto questo.
Cosa è stato differente questo mondiale rispetto agli altri?
Nella vittoria.
Beh, certo.
A parte che penso che questo è il risultato abbiamo veramente fatto le cose per bene. A livello organizzativo non è mancato niente, a livello di squadra penso che abbiamo dato una buonissima immagine sin dalle prime giornate. Abbiamo fatto delle esperienze, le abbiamo messe in atto e penso che ne siamo al di là della vittoria, che è stato un risultato eccezionale, ne siamo venuti bene proprio fuori a livello di immagine, perché abbiamo dato una bella immagine al nostro paese che viveva un momento difficile, e di questo ne siamo molto orgogliosi, perché veramente abbiamo fatto una cosa eccezionale.
Ecco, penso che deve essere stato molto duro, già la tensione che uno ha normalmente prima di una Coppa del Mondo, ma lo scandalo che è successo in Italia del calcio proprio prima della pressione deve essere stato un grosso peso da sopportare per te e per la squadra.
Ma la prima settimana sicuramente è stata quella più difficile, perché comunque in Italia era scoppiato questo scandalo, tutti si aspettavano delle dichiarazioni da parte di tutti, c'è chi ha preso una strada, chi altre, magari a volte condivisibili, a volte no, però comunque bisogna sempre rispettare degli altri. Sapevamo di avere una possibilità di restare nella storia e quindi non volevamo sprecarlo a pensare ad altre cose, quindi ci siamo concentrati solo sul mondiale. Io ricordo il primo discorso di Lippi, alla fine disse: ragazzi, noi dobbiamo puntare a vincere, il nostro obiettivo è quello, quindi noi abbiamo vinto per noi stessi, poi è normale di conseguenza, neanche il paese comunque ha avuto i suoi benefici, perché la gente si è tirata su, l'economia dicono che si è tirata su, quindi ne hanno beneficiato tutti quanti, però alla fine l'abbiamo fatto per noi stessi.
Il caso Zidane, ecco, cosa hai pensato quando l'hanno mandato fuori dal campo? Ti è pesato? È stata una reazione molto severa?
No, la sua reazione è stata forte, perché io, al di là di quello che abbia potuto aver detto Marco Materazzi, che in campo se ne dicono tante cose, però una reazione del genere da lui non me la sarei mai aspettato, e mi dispiace perché per lui era l'ultima partita della sua carriera, e per un gran campione come lui, che è stato un esempio positivo per tanti ragazzi, finire così non è stato bello.
Tutti i ragazzini adesso sognano di fare il giocatore. Cosa ti senti di dire a chi invece sogna dietro questi miti?
Perché comunque È vero che ormai noi calciatori ci vedono tutti come con belle donne, con macchine lussuose, guadagniamo tanti soldi, però per arrivarci uno deve fare comunque dei sacrifici. E non è detto, perché tanti ragazzi fanno dei sacrifici e non arrivano. Quindi sono delle componenti che nessuno sa. Io quello che dico è che al di là uno non deve pensare né ai guadagni né alle macchine, uno deve pensare solo a divertirsi. Perché alla fine è quello che conta, divertirsi, giocare a calcio, fare sport, perché è quello che serve a una persona, serve a diventare atleta e poi quello che viene è secondario. Uno non deve crescere con l'obiettivo di no, io devo guadagnare tanti soldi, no, uno deve crescere con l'obiettivo di io mi devo divertire. Io ancora oggi mi diverto e non penso sicuramente quando scendo in campo a quello che guadagno, a quello che ho, sì, ho una bella famiglia, 3 bambini, ma penso a divertirmi. Però mi piace molto stare con la mia famiglia, perché c'è sempre poco tempo, sono sempre molto in giro, sempre con la squadra, quando finiamo qui c'è la nazionale, quindi quel poco tempo libero che ho preferisco stare con la mia famiglia. Non facciamo niente di straordinario, andiamo in giro, parchi, giochi, passeggiate, siamo insieme, cose normali di una famiglia normale.
Tu ricordo il momento più bello professionale, un ricordo che se devi dire...
Ma sono stato fortunato perché nella mia vita ne ho avuti tanti di momenti belli, perché dai primi anni a Napoli, a Parma, ci metto anche Milano, anche se a livello professionale non è andato benissimo, però comunque sono stati 2 anni dove ho avuto delle esperienze umane importanti. Ma i 2 anni di Torino mi sono serviti molto, perché al di là che ho fatto parte di una squadra, una società dove capisci veramente come ti devi allenare, come devi giocare, sono stati 2 anni fantastici. Penso che i 2 anni di Torino, conclusi con la vittoria del Mondiale, siano stati 2 anni più belli della mia carriera.